All right, here we go. Thursday night edition of KFTV Live, presented by Manscaped. Well, after a historic choke job in Dallas, we wanted to see how these Knicks would respond in the Alamo. And it was a bit of a hangover, man. Knicks losing to the Spurs, man, 122-115. 5 in a row now after an 8-game winning streak. The losing streak is now 5. He did have outstanding games from Emmanuel Quickly with 36 points. Julius Randle poured in 41 with no Jalen, no RJ once again. It was Julius, it was Quick who put their team on their backs, but Knicks just didn't get enough contributions from anyone else. And on the flip side, Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, Ty Jones, Jeremy Sohan, and Romeo Langford. Let's add his name to the Knicks I'll Make You Famous Hall of Fame, because Romeo Langford finished with a career high over the Knicks with 23 points, man. CP the Franchise, JD Sports Talk on the ones and twos. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. An Alamo hangover, man. An Alamo hangover for the Knicks. And it wasn't surprising. Honestly, this one really wasn't surprising. I had doubts that this team was going to bounce back both physically and mentally over after what happened in Dallas. I had doubts that they were going to bounce back against the Spurs. And with the Spurs, look, the Spurs are 12-23. They are in the Wemby sweepstakes, a healthy tank going on in San Antonio. But this game, if you look at the stats, the Spurs won all of the effort stats. They out-rebounded the Knicks, which is uncharacteristic. Knicks one of the better rebounding teams in the league. Spurs out-rebounded the Knicks by 10. 7 block shots by the Spurs. You had 13 Knicks turnovers leading to 15 Spurs points. Knicks not careful with the ball, which was very problematic. Points in the paint. 62 points in the paint for the Spurs. Knicks giving up 46 points in the paint on average. Give up 62 points in the paint. And when you saw that, what stuck out to me was Knicks starting McBride here, moving Grimes to the 3. They start McBride and IQ in the backcourt because no RJ, no Jalen, again, for a second game. But what was evident to me was the size and the wingspan of the Spurs. When you look at Keldon Johnson, you look at Sohan, Langford, they had Pirtle in the paint. Stanley Johnson, they had a lot of size out there. And look, the Cam experiment is over, but the Knicks' clear lack of a small forward on this team was no more evident than it was tonight. And the Spurs were just able to take advantage on both ends of the court. Shooting over guys, a lot of jump hooks by Keldon Johnson, and the Knicks just had no answer. You had Quentin Grimes, who was one of the brightest spots in the Dallas game. Thought this was probably his worst game of his season. Abysmal. Grimes was abysmal. But again, Julius, tried to put his team on his back. Gave it his all. I thought IQ had an outstanding shooting night offensively. That's what kept this Knicks team in the game. But, like I said, they didn't shoot out the gates well, and it cascaded throughout this game. So too little, too late. Knicks lose 122-115. JD, your thoughts, man?
It's an awful loss. Awful, terrible loss. I know you had mentioned that, you felt that it was going to be tough for them to bounce back. At the end of the day, it's still, to me, an embarrassing loss. And in addition, first of all, I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to hear tonight that, we didn't have Jalen Brunson. I don't want to hear tonight that we didn't have RJ Barrett, because the Spurs, who are a worse team than the Knicks, who were 6-12 at home, were one of the worst teams in the NBA. We all know what their intentions are. They're missing, arguably, their best player in Devin Vassell. That's already a bad team, and they're missing almost 20 points per game player, shooting 40% from three and 80% from the free throw line. I'm sure Knicks fans know the name because he was a player that was talked about potentially becoming a Knick during his year in the draft. So they weren't missing him tonight, obviously, by their performance. So Novosel, don't want to hear the excuses. It was a terrible loss at the end of the day. Now, what I will say was very predictable, CP, very predictable, was the low energy that they came out tonight. Step slow defensively, rotations a step slow. You mentioned Grimes. Grimes had his worst game of the season defensively as well as offensively. Grimes was atrocious defensively. And I mean, it's how much do you attribute that to just the amount of minutes? Even tonight, he played 37 minutes. So even in a bad night, he still logged a lot of minutes. And, the team just didn't have it tonight. And is it because of the minutes? Is it because they're demoralized mentally, psychologically from the disaster that happened last game? A lot of talking points there to figure out what happened tonight. So to me, I'm not going to make excuses for their loss. You don't make excuses for losing to the worst teams in the NBA. I don't care who you have or don't have. The Knicks had enough tonight, having a performance what they got in terms of points. They scored 115 points. I mean, if you're going to score 115 points and you can't beat, the worst teams in the NBA, then, I don't know how you can. So very disappointed tonight, man. And, we talk about Cam, your only true wing on the roster.
Only true wing.
Only true wing. And it's funny because tonight, I mentioned to you that Fournier was actually a good matchup to play against the Mavericks because the way the Mavericks play defense, they were allowing the Knicks to shoot a lot of threes. I thought tonight was the other way around. The Knicks needed to get some stops. The Knicks needed to get some some defensive energy. Sometimes Cam does get those steals, has a few dunks. And at the end of the day, also, CP, I mean, when players are not playing well, go into your bench. One of the first things Tibbs said in the post-game press conference was, we're out a few players. Yeah, I understand you're out a few players. That's why you try to use your whole – at this point, when you have players that are out and play the amount of minutes that RJ and Brunson do, these 9-man rotations, to me, that goes out the window as a coach. You have to figure out ways on a night-to-night basis, what's the best game plan to win tonight until you get your main players back, and then you can go back to your normal system. And so, you go from an 8-game losing streak to a 5-game losing streak. And now, CP, we're back to 500.
Back to where we started. Back to where we started, huh? It was all good just a week ago. Everybody's jumping out the window. Alex is jumping. He's out the window with his graphics. We're talking about we could be the 5 seed in the playoffs in the East. We're here. We're coming.
I was close. You saw I had the mitt. I was ready.
Yeah,
I was close.
Yeah. You had one mitt. One mitt.
I had one shoulder bib. I didn't completely. It was folded. I didn't completely, put it on.
Yeah. You didn't put the apron on. You just let them know it's handy if we need it.
Alex showed you the window.
Yeah.
He jumped out.
He jumped. He did.
That's why we haven't seen him.
Right.
Trying to find him.
It was all good just a week ago, folks. No, but you're right, man. Listen, as you said, the Spurs team, this is a Spurs team that's they're headed for the Wemby sweepstakes. They just wanted it more tonight. The energy was better. The effort was better. And they took the game. And for the Knicks, yes, they woke up in the second half. They tried to. Give credit to Julius. Had to put the team on his back, and he delivered offensively. Quickly as well, but that was it. That was all that they had. Fournier did come in. He played his 17 minutes, got his 11 points, offensively, 4 or 6 from the field. Had a ghastly turnover. Never saved the ball in the opponent's end of the court and gives it right to, I believe it was Stanley Johnson, one of those guys who had an easy layup. So that was a boneheaded play, but it is what it is. Only 1 for 5 for D Rose tonight, 3 points. Reinforcements are needed, man. No RJ, no Jalen, no Obi. And how long are they going to be without those guys is left to be seen.
And if you saw, I don't know if you caught that clip, CP, of pregame. I saw it on Twitter. Jalen Brunson literally went to warm up, took a shot, and just went back to it. He just said, "All right, I'm good." He took a shot on warm up, and if you see the clip, I'm gonna try to find him. See if you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you. He took a shot in warm ups, and he just went right back. It didn't even look smooth. You could tell he felt like he didn't get hurt in the shot. It just he just wasn't feeling it.
Wasn't feeling
So
it.
it's one of those things where he tried to, shoot around, which was interesting that they call him a game time decision. I would think when you're a game time decision, you are in a lot, you're in a lot better position to play than what he showed in that clip.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, to me, I don't know how he plays against the Houston Rockets in the next game. I think he's out for this road trip. But maybe he does play because these things are day to day. You can wake up the next day and a lot of the soreness could be gone. But that's not a positive sign in terms of the Knicks need him back, and they're in the midst of a losing streak that could really get back to emergency state of the New York Knicks with pressure from the fan base, pressure from the front office, pressure maybe from Dolan. You know how these things get. You have one more road game, and then you're back to the Garden against the Phoenix Suns.
Back. You got Suns? Go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah, and I was saying, like, you don't want to get to the Garden out of all arenas on a losing streak and just have that type of negative environment, and things could just get ugly. And you need him back, but it doesn't look like he's going to come back. So to me, this is on the coach to just get creative and figure it out. I don't want to hear anymore. You're in year 3. I don't want to hear any excuses. We're not playing the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. We're playing the San Antonio Spurs tonight and the Houston Rockets the next game. Figure it out. Get a win. I mean, you're the one going out there playing 40-plus minutes. I mean, Julius Randle played 43 tonight against the San Antonio Spurs.
Then went down with a little scary injury, but popped back up.
Yeah. And you see he's getting nicked up. He's trying his best, but you're playing 43 minutes against the San Antonio Spurs, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So even Wally on the MSG postgame, made some statements about the rotations and needing reinforcements. Next need reinforcements. Obviously, Jalen, RJ, and Obi account for a lot of that production, but I have to look down the bench, man. Get Svi in there and let's throw some threes up or something.
Let's see some creative lineups. You see, the thing with Cam is Cam gives you that ability at this point where you could play him even at the 4. And the reason I say that is, CP, this Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims experiment, please scrap it. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore because it's not working right now. Maybe when everybody gets back, you can get by, but I've always thought, though, in today's NBA, playing Jericho Sims at the 4 with Hartenstein, who, I mean, his minutes are becoming worse and worse to watch. It's just not working, and it's really putting the teams. I mean, they combined for 6 points tonight. I mean, you can't get 6 points production from 2 guys in an already 9-man rotation,
right?
Coming off the bench,
right?
When Quickly now is your starter.
Right.
Fournier, if Fournier doesn't play, where are you getting your production off the bench? Yeah. You got 3 points from Derrick Rose, 2 points from Sims, and 4 points for Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
In addition to them not even giving you anything defensively, especially Derrick Rose and Isaiah Hartenstein. So to me, when you see that, you have to get creative. I understand the rotation stuff. But when you're in a losing streak, you have to just try different things out and see what you can get. And it just baffles me that, a guy who before he had, that 2-game bad stretch when Grimes came, he came back and he was inserted to the starting lineup. And then you had Cam off the bench. Before that, when Cam was a starter, he was averaging 15 points per game in this previous 5 games as a starter. I just can't believe that, I get it, behind closed doors, you've made the decision. I understand that. But they also made the decision on Fournier, and he played tonight.
Yeah.
So evidently, you are acknowledging that certain circumstances, they can play under certain circumstances. Tonight was one of them. That's why Fournier played, because of what happened with Dallas. And Brunson and RJ out again. So when it comes to Cam, why not use the same approach? Give him some minutes. And that's why I wasn't buying the whole they're not playing because of trade value. You mean to tell me you think because Evan Fournier was 4 of 6 in 17 minutes and he scored 11 points that we can trade him tomorrow? The NBA knows.
Nah.
There's nothing about Fournier tonight that was new.
It's different with Fournier than Cam, right? It's different than Fournier than Cam. Because with Cam, you are being faced with you're going to lose him. They're not going to bring him back. They're going to lose him. So if he does go out there and get hurt, then you're screwed again. For me, I still play him, but it's obviously it's political with Cam, man. It's obviously political with Cam, and with January coming up, after this New Year's Eve tilt with the Rockets, you got home against the Suns, you got the Spurs coming in. You play the Raptors about 3 times in this month. The Bucks, the Pacers. They play the Wizards twice. They play the Hawks, Cavaliers, Celtics, Nets. Lakers are reeling. The Heat, Clippers, Sixers again. Oh, that's going into February. But in the month of January, it's going to get tough, man. They're going to need some reinforcements, man. Let's get to the phones. Will from LI. Will, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, CPJ? How y'all doing?
How
bro?
you feeling, man? Doing? Long time, bro. Happy holidays.
We're doing amazing.
Definitely. First off, man, y'all been doing big things. Know that I'm always watching. We on the replay gang, but I had to call in, man, because I was gonna call in the last game, but he's like, you know what? I always jump the gun. I call in, and in the next game we do something crazy. We go. I thought this was a sure win, but listen, man, it's getting to the point.
Yeah, I didn't.
Tom Thibodeau got to go, bro. He's just a coach from a different era, bro. You can't win with this guy. Like, it's like you're telling me that you don't have no minutes for Cam, but yet you have teams like the Lakers, the Bucks, all these other teams with championship DNA. Say what you want about the Lakers, but the Bucks, you got yourself a 6'7", 6'8" lengthy wing right there, just sitting there, checked out. Because this coach don't want to play him for whatever political reason. It's just time, bro. And it's just like, hey, listen, man, bring all the tomatoes tonight, bro. I'm going to just say what I got to say, bro. Hey, when it comes to this season, bro, we're not going to make the playoffs. And honestly, this season should be used to showcase Julius Randle. He's been playing really good.
Back to trade him.
You cut this, you peel it back, bro. You listen, the guy that just did a 60, 20, 10 triple-double on us, you got him through the draft, bro. Listen, I know Trae Young's go crazy. All these teams that are beating us have gotten their superstars through the draft. And look at the Spurs, one of the most historic franchise in the NBA, and even they're trying to get into win the sweepstakes, bro. And honestly, and if anybody got an issue with that, you can see me battle the fans. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. You can see me.
Will wants to smoke. Does anybody want to smoke with Will tonight, bro? Man? This was a bum night. Right, we need some action.
I'm sick of it.
Let's go.
I'm sick of it, bro. It's the coach got to go. Get rid of Tibbs. Use the rest of this season to showcase Randall, trade him, and peel this thing back, bro. That's all I gotta say. Shout out to everybody. LI. And if you got an issue with it, see me in Battle the Fans.
Whoa.
That's it.
Will from LI coming through with the smoke. First and foremost, people, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button for the smoke. Rate that call in the chat, man. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. And if you want to smoke with Will, he's here for it tonight. We're here for it tonight, man. Knicks lost on a bum night. We want to see some action tonight. So let us know what you guys think, man. Need a wing. Need a small forward, man. They got to go out there and get one in the draft. It's a must. Like I said, I didn't think Cam had any staying power even before this season started. So I always thought they're going to have to go get something in the draft. And you saw tonight, man. Spurs had no problem scoring over any of these Knicks in the paint. None. Everything was turnaround, jump hook, turnaround, jump hook, turnaround, jump hook. Scoring over everybody. Got to go get a wing, man. Who wants to smoke with Will? Go ahead, JD.
No, I'm just saying the way they've handled the Cam situation, it's an absolute failure. Absolute failure. It's difficult to say in terms of, you want to hold the player accountable for sure, because I don't like the whole effort questions, the motor questions. That's not my style. I don't like players like that. I root for Cam because he's on the Knicks. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of talent. And anybody that comes to the Knicks that shows a lot of, talent, you want to try to develop, because you never know who could be the next guy that you hit on. And Lord knows we need to take those risks, because we seem not to hit on anyone in the draft in terms of becoming a superstar. And who knows when is the next time we'll have, a high as an opportunity to draft a player as we did with Porzingis or RJ, right? It seems like other than those 2 seasons, we're either drafting number 8 or number 9. And obviously the last few years, number 25 with Grimes and Quickly.
Yeah.
So I always root for giving a chance to talented players, and you traded for him and no plan. No plan. I'm pretty sure if someone sat with Cam behind closed doors, he might say, "What you want me to do, bro? Like, they traded for me. They traded for me, and I go in there and I don't even get a real shot. I start, I put numbers, and then I get benched, and then I'm gone." So, but he still has a lot to figure out for his own sake, because at the end of the day, once he leaves the Knicks, the next franchise will have a ton of questions about him. So he has his own problems to worry about, so that he can stick in this league. But just disappointed that the Knicks are not giving him a chance. And also, forget the Cam story. It's just, you got a wing. He's a small forward, and the team is on a losing streak, and we're not really, being creative and trying to figure out if we can catch lightning on a bottle with a different player. So that's what's actually the most frustrating, is just the lack of creativity and trying to figure something out to rack up some wins.
Just trying to match up, man. Just trying to match up. It's not looking at Cam as a savior, but we're trying to match up out here. You have several games in this 5-game losing streak, whether it's the Raptors, it's the Mavs and Luka. It's this game where his size is killing this team. Length, athleticism, wingspan, it's killing this team.
Let me ask you a question.
It's quite evident.
Do you think there's a possibility? You remember what happened with the whole Kemba thing?
Yeah.
When Tibbs really wanted to bench him, they did that. And then they were kind of forced to put him back. And then when he came back, he went ham for a few games.
Yeah.
And then you were forced to leave him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people felt like that derailed the whole thing. I wonder if that's like similar to this Cam situation, where they're saying, let's learn from last season. This is what I really want to do. Remember, Tibbs was never a Cam fan to begin with.
Yeah.
So this is what I really want to do. I really want to insert Grimes, McBride. Those are my guys. Those are guys that, I vouch for in the draft. I want to shorten the rotations. And just like he said when Cam was here and we had the vets here, there's just no, spots in the rotation. Maybe they're saying, you know what, let's not play with it. Because what if Cam comes back and Cam does play well? Then, like right now, for example, while RJ's out and Brunson's out, Cam plays tonight and plays well. He plays the next game and plays well. The Knicks go on a little 2-game winning streak, coincidentally, for example. Then here you are again. Cam has to play. RJ's back. Obi's on the mend. And then now you're back to another situation that I don't think the Knicks just want to deal with at this point. So I just wonder if that whole Kemba thing, if they don't want to play him now because they just want to stick to the plan and not risk another, dramatic situation unfolding.
I think it was a little bit different in that, like, the Kemba thing, like, there was so much respect for Kemba, him being homegrown talent, him being Kemba, former All-Star, New York product. He's a veteran, right? They brought him in on the cheap, but they didn't really have much options at the point, or options that they wanted to go with. And so, him benching him because of the ineffective play and then going to, like, Burks. It just, they didn't have much options there at the point. The options were pretty slim. To me, with Cam, even if you play him, then you extend the rotation to 10. Extend the rotation to 10, because you can't tell me that in a wing league that you can't even get this kid spot minutes a night. It doesn't have to be 10, 15. He doesn't have to compete with an RJ or Grimes for minutes. There should be spurts in between the third and fourth quarter, in between the second, the middle of the second to a couple minutes in the second, that you can get him in there for some wing defense, to try to switch things up, to try to get a stop, to try to get a steal, to try to slow things down on the opposing player, make things difficult. You know what I'm saying? I think with the Kemba situation, like they were really trying to search for an option at the point that could A, run the offense, and B, be capable defending. And they didn't have that stability there, which is really what hurt him. But for Cam, just add him into the rotation. To me, I don't see how it hurts things by getting them in there, lengthening the rotation. Because for me, they're just not good enough for a 9-man rotation to be sustainable all year. You don't have a superstar, and you have ineffective play. This is why these guys are getting burnt out.
You saw it tonight.
This is why these guys are getting burnt out.
Tonight was confirmation that it's just not that formula. Again, I'm okay with the 9-man rotation if you're balancing out the minutes more. Because you look around the NBA, there's a lot of teams that are playing 9 guys. They may play a 10th a few minutes, but the bulk is 9 guys. But you have 3 guys off the bench playing 20 minutes.
Right.
That 4th guy is playing around 15 and 18 minutes. Yet, if you look at the box score tonight, we had 3 guys barely playing 10.
Right.
And so it's a quote-unquote 9-man rotation. I'm saying 9 guys are touching the floor, but it's not necessarily distributed in the way that you would think would make it more effective. And so in this case, it's either you change the minutes or you expand it to 10 guys. And
yeah,
as you mentioned, they're just not good enough right now. And even the guys that are coming off the bench, like Rose, CP Rose, man. We love Rose.
Yeah.
But it might be time.
It might be time, man. It might be time. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's get those likes up. KFTV Postgame Live presented by Manscaped. Fellas, yes, it is past Christmas, but it's never too late to go get your Lawnmower 4.0, man. Go get that Lawnmower 4.0 and a ton of other Manscaped products. All you got to do is just go to manscaped.com and enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Make sure you guys are doing that. Shout out to our friends at Manscaped once again for supporting the squad. And I want to shout out to Alex from Astoria, JD. Alex from Astoria sent us a tweet. Said, shout out to KFTV, CP the Franchise, and Manscaped. The brand is strong. # no testimonial. So my man Alex, this looks like he got the performance package from Manscaped for Christmas, man. So shout out to Alex, man. If your lady got that for you, she's a keeper. And he's got his shampoo, conditioner. He's got his body wash in there. He's got his Lawnmower 4.0. A couple of other nice products in there. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Manscaped once again. Go to manscaped.com and the promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping and no testimonials. All right,
shout out to Isaac Chandler in the chat. He said he got his tonight.
No doubt. Shout out to Isaac, man. Shout out to Isaac. So, actually, I got to they're going to be sending you and Alex a couple of things, man. They got some new products on the way for January. So
yeah, it's getting brick out here.
It's getting brick. The hawk is out. So shout out to Manscaped. They're definitely going to be taking care of us with some new product. So that should be on the way. Okay, back to the phones we go, to the Discord. Sizzle or Tizzle on the Discord. I'll mute your mic. Not sure what that means, but I'll mute your mic. Sizzle or Tizzle?
My last name's Ortiz.
Okay.
I bring the sizzle.
I like
sizzle
that.
Or Tizzle.
Okay, I like that. I wasn't so sure what it was going to be, so go ahead.
Yeah, man. No, I was calling in. I wanted to talk about Cam. You guys touched on that a lot, but at what point does that become coaching malpractice to not play Cam at this point? Like, we have Miles McBride starting, and we have Emmanuel Quickley playing over 50 minutes in a game. At what point is he putting the players almost at risk out there. They could get injured if they're playing for that long. They're going to get gassed. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I just want to know, at what point should the media really focus on Tibbs? Everyone jump in on that. And if you want to bring up Cam's trade value, what better time to bring up his trade value than right now? When in this year would he have gotten more shots than he would get right now? He could be scoring 25 a night in this lineup. He could be playing good defense, and that is what would get us a good trade.
Well, I'm not so sure they can improve it unless he was just like a bona fide starter every night and was just putting up like ridiculous numbers. But I think they don't want to get him hurt because they are going to lose him in the offseason, and they're trying to get something for him. Number one, maybe there's not much of a market there right now, but number two, maybe they just don't want to see his value plummet. And they're just stuck with a lemon for the rest of the season. Okay,
so if I grant you that, we still need to give more minutes to the guys on the bench. We cannot have these guys playing this long. They're going to get hurt. We're just going to continue losing games at the end like this. We might as well tank if we're going to do that.
Hey,
so we might as well sell high.
Wiley said it on the postgame. You had a former player talking about it, and those guys try to kind of skate around criticizing the team too much. They can't really say too much, but you listen to what Wiley said. He spoke about it tonight.
If Wiley's saying it, Wiley gets accused for being a little bit of a homer,
shaking the pom-poms.
He says that. There's definitely something behind it.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it. I personally canceled Wally in my head once he said that about Halliburton. I was done.
He got him up out of there. I hear you, man. I hear you. I appreciate the call. Sizzle or Tizzle on the Discord. Nice name, man. All right, to the phones we go. Area code 443. What's your name? Where you tapping in from?
CP, it's Ron from Baltimore.
Ron from B-More. What's good?
I'm depressed like everybody. I mean, it was a carryover. I felt we didn't have the effort and energy. In the Mavs game, we had the effort. We just didn't finish. I mean, I had no issue. Doncic is a great player. He got his, but I didn't have an issue with effort or energy in the Mavs. It was just a matter of not finishing the game. The Cam thing, I think he should still play. I get it. I'm a fan. I get it from a business perspective. I still play him because that's great that Fournier went 4 for 6, but we took the ball out of the basket. We needed defense. It wasn't about offense tonight. I don't like to do the ref thing, and I'm not blaming the refs for the loss. I want to be clear. However, I want to just say this, and I refer you to the Mavs game, the quickest jump ball call I've ever seen in my life. When Julius ties it up, we call an instant foul. Okay, I get it. It's different refs, and I'm frustrated, but that's fun. I had an issue with 2 of the Randall fouls in the Mavs game, where Powell acted like Randall elbowed him in the face when he never even touched him at all.
Yeah.
Also, Randall was called for an offensive foul for him simply using his strength to gain position on a missed free throw in the Mavs game. That's not fair to Randall. I thought I'm always going to protect Julius, and I have to call it out when I see it. I thought Dinwiddie's foot was on the line on the last play of regulation in the Mavs game. They never call that, but Dinwiddie's foot was on the line on the three-point line. You're not allowed to do that if you check the rules. But I also just want to say tonight, I thought there was a play where the ball was clearly off of San Antonio. Yeah. And then the McBride play, you want to say he hit him on the elbow, that's fine, CP. But the way that game was going, I can't accept that. It just, every little thing is going against us. And I know people are probably going to throw tomatoes. You can't blame the refs. I'm just saying, I've watched enough basketball.
I wouldn't go that way, bro.
I'm not going to go with the refs thing. I'm just going to say this comment. We need Jalen Brunson back.
Okay.
We won 8 games in a row. We can turn this thing around, CP, but I think the key is for you to hang in there with me because we can turn – you and I are one of the – your boy Burks went off last night, so there's hope for us because it shows us if we just stick in there. Burks went off.
Yeah, they got rid of the wrong guy.
we have to hang in because Brunson, we need our leader back. We need the defensive intensity back. Grimes is a baller. The Mavs game, we didn't close. They collapsed, but it can easily flip where we can win 5-6 in a row. I still think this team can do it, but right now, I feel like they're mentally wilting. So we have to keep them strong. We can't give up. And I'm frustrated. I'm going to let you go, but I'm just going to say the refs drive me nuts. I hate all of them, and have a good night.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not a blame the refs guy. I very rarely, referees are they're part of sports. The calls are very subjective sometimes. Sometimes they might miss it. But you get makeup calls all the time. It balances out. Some nights you're going to get the benefit of the whistle, sometimes not. In this game, the Knicks just got worked. Period. They got worked. When you get worked, you're down by 17 points to a team that's in the tank. All the energy that you exerted in the Mavs game, you got to bring that, double that, just to try to come back and win this game. You're burnt. And it's a long season. Right now, we're only in game 836. They got another 46 to go. A long season, man.
Speaking of refs, first of all, I don't, games like this, double digits, most of the game they were losing by double digits. There's not much I can say on the refs on that, because if a team is able to hold that type of lead for the duration of the game,
stopped.
it was definitely more than refs. Now if it's a close game throughout, and it's a close game, in the clutch, and then refs make a call, yeah, that's the most frustrating aspect, is when you have close games and refs make calls that could decide the game.
Right.
But double-digit games, I don't pay attention to refs, even when there is bad calls. Now, it is interesting, though, when the Knicks hit a bucket, and the score was 120 to 113, and the Knicks trapped. They trapped the player. Pop called a timeout because he saw what happened. And that just made me think of the Quentin Grimes play.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Hall of Fame coach call a timeout, and then you had Tibbs, who had that same opportunity the night, the game before, and it was just a microcosm of what's been going on. I just thought it was just interesting when I saw that sequence, and it just reminded me of look, Pop is a coach. He's not gonna mess up that situation. And then unfortunately, we didn't come through. So it was just a frustrating night, man. We got to figure out a way to get a win. If you lose to the Rockets,
oof.
And
Hey,
CP,
listen,
you were talking to Brandon London. I think it was last night.
Yeah,
you talked about Tibbs, and I agreed with what you said about him being on the hot seat in terms of they might just see how the season plays out at this point. But I just wonder if there's a situation that could develop, like some type of losing streak, like now, that could ramp things up again. Because you have an 8-game winning streak, it's like, whoa, Eastern Conference Finals. You have an 8-game losing streak. Things could go south pretty quickly.
Yeah, and look, don't look past the Rockets, man. That's a young, scrappy, athletic team. When you talking about Jalen Green and Porter and Segun, they got some scrappers, man. It's New Year's Eve. You trying to get to the party, I don't know where the Knicks is going that
Houston.
night. Who knows? They in H-Town. Anything is possible.
James Harden knows all the spots.
Right, that's right. So you just never know, man. You just never know. So to everybody in the chat, once again, man, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Knicks lose in the Alamo, 122 to 115 to the Rockets. I'm going to shout out to Rhyme Animal Chuck D, $10 super chat. Shout out to Chuck. Everybody throw hashtag PE in the chat. He says the real revealing deal is that if Tibbs goes, I believe 50% of the current roster would not be sad. Also tanking for what? Cam Reddish is probably more talented than 3 to 30 draft picks. It's down to this. Shout out to Apostle in the Making, $5 super chat. He says, I think they broke Cam not even doing warm-ups. They broke his confidence and trust because he was putting up maximum effort and still got benched. $20 super chat from George Lopez, or Jorge Lopez. It says, on a Disney trip with the kids, had to tap in. At what point do you start the zone yourself? You clearly can't beat it. Why not zone up? Energy was off from the start. Thought Cam was a better option than Fournier given all the injuries. Shout out to that guy. He's out of Disney World with the kids, still tapping in the post-game live after he put the kids to bed. Long day with Mickey Mouse and them. He's rocking with us. $20 super chat. You know, I don't think it's not a simple thing. If the coach doesn't preach zone, if he doesn't teach zone, if they don't practice zone, you're not just gonna throw one out there in the middle of game 36. If that's not what you're running, if that's not part of your scheme.
It's definitely not part of Tibbs' scheme.
Definitely not part of Tibbs' scheme. So, and like I said, I found it interesting Christmas Day when his friend and counterpart Doc Rivers, a veteran coach in his own right, with good individual defensive players on his own team, went into a zone and took the Knicks completely out of it on Christmas Day. So, some coaches go with it, some don't.
I was actually shocked Jason Kidd didn't do it.
Yeah.
In the Mavs game, I thought, Jason Kidd, who's more of a modern player,
right,
played more recently than Doc Rivers. I thought that was going to be part of his game plan, but sometimes you have, certain matchups, things could happen. RJ left the game, so maybe Kidd felt that, their scheme was going to work, even better. So
yeah,
but it's definitely going to be something to watch against the Rockets because they have played zone at times this season. So
let's take a look at this thing by the numbers, man. By the numbers presented by Prize Picks. And speaking of shooting, Spurs shot 50% from the field tonight, man, including 39% from downtown. This is the worst three-point shooting team in the league. Worst three-point shooting team in the league. 21st in effective field goal percentage. 21st in three-point percentage. Well, one of the worst, rather, not the worst. 22nd in makes, but they shot the ball well tonight against the Knicks. Shot the ball very well. 27th in shooting efficiency, and they shot the ball very, very well tonight against the Knicks. And that was a big point of this game. But I also thought, like I said, to start the show, the effort stats, rebounds. 48 rebounds by the Spurs, 38 for the Knicks. Knicks not able to get those second chance opportunities that they've been so good at and leading the league at. Not able to get those tonight. The Knicks giving up 15 points off of 13 turnovers and then getting dominated in the paint. 62 points in the paint for the Spurs, 42 by the Knicks. What you think about this? The key stats of the night, bro?
I mean, for me, it's the rebounding, because the San Antonio Spurs are second to last in the NBA in defensive rebounds, and they're one of the worst total rebounding teams in the NBA. So the fact that they out-rebound you by 10 tonight and they get 48, which is about 6 to 7 more rebounds than their average, tells me, basically everything I need to know about the Knicks being gassed after last game, because the Knicks are one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. So you're one of the best defensive and you play one of the worst, and then one of the worst teams out-rebounds you. That's a difficult stat to get outplayed. Like 3-point shots and things like that, it can be different from a night-to-night basis, but usually top rebounding teams don't get out-rebounded by the worst of rebounding teams. So that was, to me, the one of the differences in the game. Is, like I mentioned, it was an indicator of the Knicks just not having enough energy tonight.
Yeah, no question about it, man. And then, look, tonight you had key individual performances, although it wasn't a good team night. You had two key individual performances led by the Chase Freedom Nick of the night, and that's Julius Randle, man. 41 points for Julius, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 of 13 from downtown, 14 and 27 from the field. I mean, how do we look at Julius's night tonight, man? In a tough loss, continuing to put up monster numbers and try to lead his team to victory. I mean, if he had a little bit more help across the board, Knicks could have got it done. But I thought Julius did everything that he could to get him the victory tonight, man.
Listen, you get to a point with a player like him. Notice when you just play hard and you play within the system and you try your best, the analysis of you as a player is objective It's clean, and we can see the realities of you as a player and then your surroundings. And in that, how can I say we lost because of Randall or he could have done better?
You got people in the chat saying it's empty stats. Unbelievable. Empty stats.
43 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Shoots just under 50% from three. Shoots over 50% overall. 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. 4 turnovers in 43 minutes. That's actually pretty good for him.
I mean, where else you getting production from?
We're losing by double digits, and
Crazy.
he still is only a -2. We didn't, it was 122, 115, but that didn't really tell the story of how the game was really going. 41 points. I understand the frustrations. 41 points. It's like a high number, and usually, you want that with a win. But I mean, to me, his value is at the highest it's been since his All NBA season.
Yeah.
And if you're a Knicks fan, that's actually encouraging, because now it's up to the front office what they want to do. Like, we've set the stage for him to do what many people want. It seems like if you do a poll, majority feel that let's raise his value, let's do this, let's do that. Well, I think he's got there. He's there. In my opinion, he's there. Because don't tell me that the rest of the NBA does not see that when he needs to step up, statistically, he's done that. And when Brunson's here and RJ's here, he takes a step back and he plays within the scheme. For the most part, yes, You're going to get the ISO Randall here and there, but it's still a lot less than what we've seen previously. And a lot of that, of course, is because of Jalen Brunson. So I think Randall has gotten to where everybody has wanted. His value's at his all-time high. And now it's up to the front office what they want to do with him. I mean, I can't control it. I could tell you what I want. That's not going to change anything. It's up to the front office. But Randall has done his job. He's played well as a player, and his value has increased as a player.
Yeah.
And when people want to say, oh, but the Dallas game, he ran away from the moment or this and that, he didn't want to shoot any free throws, JD. I mean, does that surprise anyone? I mean, we know this. He's not the guy.
Right.
So when Brunson's not here, I'm not, like, if he fails in the fourth quarter, I'm not even going to go crazy over it, because I know that that's not his role anymore. It's not. So, he's playing well. He's playing well. And my position has always been try to get the best you can. But, fans really don't like him.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan either, but
crazy.
You got to be objective.
You got to be objective. Empty stats. Who else has scored out there? Miles McBride? Look who he's playing with out there in the lineup.
Quentin Grimes.
Grimes didn't have it tonight. Grimes is bad tonight. 1 for 10 from the field. McBride's never going to give you anything. Mitch had 20 the other night, had nothing tonight. You got to set Mitch up. 41 points, 7 assists, 11 boards, 6 of 13 from downtown.
He had a couple of big shots that got you within distance.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else you want from the guy, man. I don't know what else you want from the guy. But either way, the stats of the night and tonight's key stats is brought to you by Prize Picks, ladies and gentlemen. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. And for you guys at home, play to win. Go to prizepicks.com and use promo code KFTV, and they will match your deposit 100% up to $100. So, like I said, if you start and your first deposit is $50, they will match your $50. You have $100 to play with. You want to play with $100? They will match you $100, and you have $200 to play with. How do you play Prize Picks? Very easy. You're going to pick 2 to 6 players, and you can pick across a number of sports from the NBA, NFL. You have bowl season going on in college football. You have the NHL season. Whatever you're into, you're going to pick 2 to 6 players, and it's you versus the projected stats that Prize Picks has for a given player on a given night. For the NBA, I play all NBA. And for the NBA, you have a number of stats to choose from points to assists to rebounds, 3 points made. You have a points, rebounds, and assist combinator. You have a number of statistics, and you're just going to predict whether or not that player is going to do more or less than that number that Prize Picks has allotted. Now, for tonight, JD, I did pick Julius. I did pick Julius tonight. Let me get to my numbers here. I picked Julius not on the points, though, because I didn't know if he was gonna come through after the Dallas game. But I did pick him on the rebounds because he's been a monster on the boards for at least the last 10 games or so. He's been hitting that more number. He's been an animal on the boards. And tonight I went with Julius Randle with more than 10.5 rebounds. And he got that. He got 11. I went with Keldon Johnson in this game. I like Keldon Johnson in this game with more than 21.5 points. I did get that. I went with Quentin Grimes with more than 14.5, coming off of the 33-point career high. I just thought that with no Jalen, no RJ, somebody was going to have to score. And it wasn't Grimes. It was Quickly tonight. So Grimes only finishing with 9. So I did not hit that. I went with Jason Tatum with more than 30.5 points. Celtics taking on the Clippers. He finished with 29. So I just fell 2 points short of that one. But the other one that I did hit on was Pascal Siakam with less than 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Raptors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies at home. I went with Siakam with less against that Grizzlies defense, and he finished just short. So I hit on 3 of my 5 picks for tonight. Wasn't the full 5 that I wanted, but still come away a winner. How'd you do?
Oh, my God. When I tell you this, unbelievable. I love you, Luca. Oh, my God. Last ticket, I went 4 for 5, and Luca messed up a perfect ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And on this ticket, I go 4 for 5 again. Keldon Johnson, more than 21.5 points. Mm-hmm. He has hit the over 3 of his last 4 games.
Yep.
With no Devin Vassell, I just felt like he was going to get the higher usage, therefore a bigger opportunity to hit that mark since Vassell is averaging almost 20 points per game. Just figured naturally Keldon Johnson was going to get the usage, so to me that was an easy pick. He had 30, so I hit that. I went over for Julius Randle, 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. His number was 45.5. Again, same situation with Keldon Johnson. No RJ, no Brunson. I knew he was going to play a ton of minutes, and therefore I thought he was just going to get all the usage and have a monster night. So 45.5 was the mark, and he had 59. So I hit on that. I went Emmanuel Quickly over 18.5 points because, again, same thing. Bunch of minutes, no Brunson. He was going to start. He had 21 shot attempts the last game. So I just felt like, is he really going to have another 5 for 21 night or something like that? I just felt that, NBA players bounce back, and he definitely did.
Major way.
In a major way with 36 points. So I hit on that. Mitchell Robinson, I went under 10.5 rebounds.
Wow.
I was so close to picking Grimes on the points.
Yeah.
But I went with Robinson under 10.5 rebounds. Again, I just thought Jakob Poeltl, 7-footer, minutes, fatigue, just didn't see it as a great matchup, and he only has 6 rebounds. So 4, one more, and I win the jackpot. I retire from KFTV. I'm done. Off to the sunset. Luka Doncic, I win less than 33.5 points, and he scored 35.
Damn.
I just felt the same thing. He's fatigued. He had that crazy night.
Yeah.
Houston, they're going to look over that matchup. 35 points. And the number was 33.5.
That's the way it goes, man. Play to win for you people at home, but play responsibly. Once again, go to prizepicks.com. Use promo code KFTV for an instant deposit match up to $100. Okay, back to the phones we go. Let's go to the Discord. Groovy Cam 97. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Groovy Cam 97.
CP, JD, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Listen, JD, on behalf of the Knicks fan base, I want to don you the voice of the Knicks fans, man. You come in here consistently with your game face on. You making great takes. You are speaking for the people. CP the franchise, JD the voice. But let's get into it though. CP, I'm in a given mood. It's Christmas.
Yeah, let's go.
I got $40 for a Greyhound bus ticket for Deuce McBride back to Westchester. That's what I got. Listen. I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen McBride stop anybody. I seen him get posted up by Romeo Langford. I seen Trey Jones blow by him. I seen him get killed on switches. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't. He makes his buckets, but I just don't know what's going on. Now, to the Cam Reddish point, because I've seen a lot of people in the chat and amongst these sports shows talk about Cam Reddish, but they don't get his situation down pat, right? Cam Reddish was drafted number 11 to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. When he was drafted, Lloyd Pierce was his coach, who was not playing him, similar to Tibbs. Mm-hmm. He had Kevin Huerter above him. Mm-hmm. He had Vince Carter, who was on a farewell tour, and he also had DeAndre Hunter, who was the fourth pick that same draft. He just came off a championship at UVA. He was already in a situation when he first got to the league where he was fighting to play. Sophomore season, Lloyd Pierce is fired. Now you're going to bring in Nate McMillan. What does Atlanta do? Brings in Bogdanovich. Hurt is still there. Hunter is still there. Cam gets hurt, and it's COVID. So he doesn't really get a chance to showcase his abilities. But he comes back in the playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he kills. Third year, Cam kills. But what happens? Similar to the Knicks, because people keep saying this Cam Reddish narrative, and I'm not going to lie, CP, I don't like it. Mm-hmm. People keep saying he just got booted. He did not get booted. Similar to the Knicks with OB and IQ, where the Knicks had to make a decision, Atlanta had to make a decision between Cam Reddish or DeAndre Hunter. They chose Hunter. So Cam Reddish naturally had to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So he came to the Knicks where he thought he could play, and Tibbs did not play him. So now I'm of the belief, this is all in Rich Paul's master plans now. I think Rich Paul told management that he doesn't want Cam to touch the floor, and he's better off somewhere else. And I agree, because Cam Reddish is going to get traded to a contender. There's no way we have championship teams wanting this man, and he doesn't establish a role for himself on the New York Knicks. There's no way.
I mean, Rich Paul probably trying to get him to L.A., man. And if he goes to L.A., you better believe I think Bron will get him right and appreciate the call, man. I think Bron is the only man that'll get Cam right, man. It'll be the J.R. Smith effect. Even though the Lakers are like dead last in the West, second to last, they're cooked. and LeBron is he's just dropping hints left and right, like, man, upgrade this team. They're done. But I think Bron could get Cam right though.
Yeah, that Lakers mix is just even LeBron can't do nothing with that because it's just not a personnel fit. It's just not. They have a bunch of bricklayers on that team. And at least, LeBron said, y'all used to say when I got Boobie Gibson and Pavlovich and these guys on the Cavs to the finals, but guess what? Those were shooters, though.
Yeah.
You can't say that about anybody on the Lakers. And yeah, like I said, I mentioned Cam himself has a lot of questions to answer. But even the Hawks, I know a lot of people say, well, why they do this? Well, the Hawks are also getting criticism for the decisions they've made because they got rid of Huerter. He's having his best season. And DeAndre Hunter is getting some criticism in Atlanta. They feel that he hasn't lived up to, being the number 4th pick in the 2019 draft. And, I believe he got a contract extension. And so they haven't seen him take that leap. So, Atlanta took a lot of chances on a bunch of wings, and they still are looking for that star at that position.
Yeah. Good point, man. $10 super chat from Della Music 50 says, again, could a different coach have figured out a way to utilize his talent and won this game? No, I don't think so. The talent has to start wanting it first. Spurs just outplayed him. Yes, you could have went to more people in the rotation. At the end of the day, the players got to play, man. The players got to play. SRL62889 on the Discord. I'll mute your mic.
CP, JD, what's going on, gentlemen?
How you doing, man?
Doing good. I've been listening to you guys since about 2016.
Nice.
I was at the game tonight, and I appreciate everything that you guys do down here in San Antonio.
Appreciate it.
But Man, oh man, I don't know what we watched tonight. I think that we got a lot of work to do. Something that JD brought up at the beginning of the show was that Jalen was warming up. I was there about 2 hours before the game started. They let me in early, and he was out there doing warm-up sprints. He was out there shooting threes with Papa Rick, and he was looking pretty good. I thought that there was a chance that he might start tonight. So hopefully he gets back. I think they're going to try to get him as close to 100% as they can. But, yeah, we got to do something, man. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but appreciate what you guys do. I'll keep it rapid fire.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the call. And like I said, man, appreciate you guys tuning in, calling in after being at these games. It's good insight. We definitely appreciate everybody. So anybody in H-Town, definitely call us up and let us know, what the vibe is, what's going on pregame. If you see anything, let us know. This is a community affair. Look, I did drop the injury news with RJ that he was going to miss the San Antonio game.
Say it again.
I did drop the injury news with RJ that he was going to miss the San Antonio game. Beat didn't give me credit.
CP had it first.
We had it first. I'm not in the credit game, JD. You know me, bro. I just, whatever I get, I share it with the people. I'm not in it for the glory. I don't care about the credit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But in that news that I did get on RJ, I was told that Brunson was a strong maybe to play tonight. So maybe he wasn't feeling it last minute, decided not to, but I think he's closer to getting back out there on the court. That's all I'll say. You know what I'm saying? I think he's closer to getting back out there on the court.
When we play, so we play Houston
Saturday.
Saturday and tomorrow's Friday. Okay, so you'll have 1 day in between of rest, and then Phoenix is Monday.
Yeah.
So that's another 1 day in between. So yeah, so it's. I mean, I think if he can play, he has to play against Houston. Like if he can play, he has to play. Houston has a lot of young talent, and that's the type of team that could, just like the Spurs tonight, could catch fire. Jalen Green could have a 40-point night. And then you're going to the Garden on a really bad note on an early game on Monday, 3 p.m. game. So those early games could be tricky, albeit the Suns will not have Devin Booker. But RJ may not play that game either. So you still be down. So it's all fair game at this point. I think if he can play against Houston, you try to stop the bleeding now.
Yeah, no question about it, man. Go lean on the Discord. Go lean. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Then I'll get to the phones after that.
What's going on, CP? What's going on, JD? Long-time listener, first-time caller. Appreciate everything you guys do. I'm just honestly tired about all the chatter about, CP, you just said it yourself. It's about what the talent does on the court. And I agree with that, no doubt. However, you got to realize all this chatter about, us wanting Tibbs to go, all the fans wanting Tibbs to go, it's come to the point in time where, this guy should have been gone, within a quarter of the season after we lost to the Hawks in the playoffs. We're talking about a guy who's never reached the promised land, has never really come close. I forget how far they got with the D-Rose Bulls teams back in the day. But, if you guys listen to the games and you guys always hear Tibbs yelling, he's yelling things that are like very elementary things. He's telling his guys to cut to the rim. He's telling his guys to move and go and run. And these are things that need to be done in practice. And for an NBA coach to be saying to these things as constant reminders during live games, it's kind of mind-boggling, honestly. You add that in addition to, all these lineups and lack of substitutions and lack of rotations. And honestly, after this game, I know we didn't have Brunson, I know we didn't have RJ, but, it gets me thinking about, does the front office know what it's actually doing? I think you guys brought up the fact that, I think Tibbs has relations to the agency that, runs his contract in addition. What was it? I forget what it's called. CAA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, CAA. Yeah. Tibbs is involved. He's involved with all transactions and plans. He's involved.
So I don't know if it's a matter of, you might have mentioned in previous post games, maybe they're scared to pull the trigger on him. But at the end of the day, like I think JD even said it in the last post game, where we can't be zoning in on these like tidbits and these instances where the Knicks screw up. And yesterday or the day before, not putting Sims in when they put Miguel
JaVale McGee. Yeah.
And there was another instance very early on in the season, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like our first game where we could have had that game against Memphis, where we actually held Morant quite well, but we didn't put Mitch in the final minutes because the guy had 5 fouls, and Tibbs decided to let him sit on the bench for the entire fourth quarter. So all I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, it's kind of sad, and it's disheartening that we don't hear from the front office about the Tibbs situation. And one last piece I want to end on is you actually saw during the game, and don't get me wrong, I love Broadway Barrett, he's my guy, but you saw he was sitting next to Cam, and they were kind of like shooting the breeze with one another. And the Knicks had literally just come off one of the worst upsets and finishes in the last 20 years in the NBA. Where's the game face mentality on behalf of all the players? You saw Jalen, he was sitting next to Pops doing his thing. But RJ was just kicking back, relaxing with his man Cam from Duke.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of our top guys. He should be like standing up, cheering the team on, maybe like, talking to his guys during timeouts and whatnot. But he was just sitting back. The vibes of the team are off. Even if we make the playoffs, we know what's going to happen. Right? Tibbs can't make any rotation adjustments. We're going to be busted in the first round if it even happens. So, I'll end the call on that. Okay. But it's just disheartening all around.
Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Cody Glock on the Discord. I'll mute your mic. Cody Glock. All right, we lost Cody Glock. Okay.
Hopefully.
Say that again?
Nah, just the name.
Yeah, Cody Glock, right? Cody Glock. All right, let's take a couple calls on the phones and then wrap up. Area code 512. 512. What's your name? Where are you calling it from? All right. We're going to get them out of there. Area code 917-386. There's a lot going on in that call, JD. We had to go. Area code 917-386. What's your name? Where you tapping in from?
Yo, it's JJ from Brooklyn.
What's good,
How you guys doing, man?
Good, man. Happy New Year.
It's good.
Hopefully better than that last call. I don't know what the hell was going on over there.
Yeah. A couple quick points, man. First, CP, you're a real one, man. You know why? Because you never bought into this 8-game win streak, and I was right there with you. Was it fun? Was it cool? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we knew what's up. We knew this thing was. We knew this wasn't gonna last.
Yeah.
We can't embrace being mid. Listen, even if a lot of people were celebrating being the 6th seed when we were the 6th seed, 7th seed, or whatever, let's say we get in as a 6th seed. Who are we going to play? Brooklyn, Milwaukee? Come on, that's light work for those teams. Listen, I know I'm going to get tomatoes for this, but the only standings I'm looking at right now is the Tankathon standings. That's it.
Okay.
I'm not worried about making the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. And let's not make excuses. About half of our wins, literally half, have come against teams missing their best players. So I don't want to hear we're missing this guy or missing that guy. That's nonsense. But, yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate the call.
Happy New Year, man.
Appreciate the call.
Wasting your time looking at those standings.
Yeah, right.
They're not bad enough.
They're not bad enough, man. They're not bad enough.
Once Brunson comes back and RJ comes back,
right?
If they're a mid team, that means they'll be right there 500.
Yeah.
Which means that's a 20th, 18th, 19th, 20th draft pick in the first round, around there. So that's mid,
Yeah.
Right out the lottery. Lottery is top 14 is the lottery. So you're looking at 17 to 22, something like that. I mean, am I gonna go crazy off that draft, that pick? On a draft that I personally think is a little overrated. I don't think it's as I don't think it's as deep as some people are saying. I think it's top heavy, but if you don't have a top 5 pick, you're looking at, you're hoping somebody drops. So, because that's just where I think if this is where they're gonna go, 3-game winning streak, 2-game losing streak, 5-game winning streak, 3-game losing streak, and they're right around there, then they're just not gonna have a top 7, top 8 pick.
That's correct. That is
correct. And here's the other thing too. If Tibbs is still here by the deadline and they're hovering around 500, I mean, you have to think also where this team is at the deadline. It's going to be interesting what the front office does. Do they pivot and understand that this second half of the season could be Tibbs's last, and the next season could be our last as a front office? So does that put pressure on them to want to make a win now move, which I wouldn't agree with, but I mean, obviously depends what it is and the price and all that other stuff, but I just think this front office mindset right now, CP, I don't know if you disagree, is they want to win now.
Yeah, 100%.
They're trying to win now.
100%.
I don't think Woj is going to come on national TV saying that they're looking for that next star out of all people, a credible reporter like Woj, if the mindset is not, win now.
Right. No,
I mean, you have
agree.
a player like Cam, right, who a lot of people talk about the contract. I mean, is Cam really going to get paid at this point? Unless Cam gets traded and he goes to a team like the Pistons or somewhere where he's going to get 30 minutes. At this point, is he really a guy that you're really worried about money at this point? I mean, Cam, what's probably likely going to happen is he's going to get traded and he's probably going to have to take a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
And
prove it deal.
Rich Paul is going to have an all season unless he's traded to the team that's going to give him the opportunity for the second half and next season. Rich Paul's biggest job with Cam Reddish as a client is, I'm going to take a 1-year deal. You better find me the spot where I can maximize this 1-year deal because I'm not doing this again.
Right.
So, and you have a talented guy like that, and he's young. They're not going that route. So to me, they're trying to get somebody that can help them win now. And you just hope that if they do that move, it doesn't hurt the team long term.
Yeah. It's fair points, man. Fair points. But we did get into some early draft talk, man. Check out that episode that we did. That was with Alex and our guy, Corey Tulliver of No Ceilings Podcast. We talked about some mid to late first rounders. Yes, we talked about Wemby and Scoot and those guys and Thompson twins. But we talked about some realistic NCAA and NBA draft candidates for the Knicks in those mid to late first rounds. Wings. We did talk about Anthony Black as well. So definitely check that out. It is up on the channel for your viewing and listening pleasure. If you guys are new in the chat, shout to everybody in the chat, man. Drop a hashtag new in the chat. Let us know you're there. We will shout you guys out. And we'll take a couple more calls on the phones. Area code 860. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Louis from Jacksonville.
Louis,
how you doing today, guys?
How you feeling, man?
Good. Stayed up, watched this game.
Yeah.
I know you were saying that we probably could use a wing, like a small forward on this team.
Mm-hmm.
You bring a small forward to the team, you're going to either take time away from Grimes or from Barrett, because Barrett now starts at the small forward, and he can't play the small forward. I think in the team we probably can use on their bench somebody like Jay Crowder, who will come in and crash the board, somebody who plays defense, a hustle kind of guy. Somebody that can help the Knicks. And Julius is like up on the three-point line. He ain't no power forward. He's nowhere near the basket. He can't be pulling down rebounds. He's getting beat on the boards. That's what hurt them today. Julius was, playing offense. He wasn't playing defense.
Right.
And that's what they needed. They needed that for him today. But Sims and the other big man they were both on the court and did nothing.
Yeah.
That's not who they are.
That's a tough one to have in that rotation. But you said they don't need a wing, and then you said go get Jay Crowder. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Do you like Jay Crowder?
Not in particularly, but I'm saying in given the front office's goals, right? We just spoke on that. And if they want to solidify a playoff spot, that's the type of trade, that's a realistic type of trade to go out and make mid-season, right? They're not getting a star at the trade deadline. You go get a Jay Crowder. You want to go get an Eric Gordon. To me, that's the type of move that this team could use if they want to solidify themselves in a playoff spot, in a playoff push. You go get a veteran wing like that.
Imagine they get Gordon Hayward.
Yo, jeez. No.
That could very well happen.
No. I've been anti-Gordon Hayward since they even offered him a deal 2 years ago. That's not the guy.
Tobias Harris has 1 year left on his deal. 6'9", 40% three-point shooter this year.
You think Philly would trade him? I can't see that.
I mean, they've had him long enough.
I can't see that.
Yeah, it depends. What would we be giving up for that?
Right.
Because they're trying to win now.
Right.
And Tobias is a win now player, like
right.
a win now move. So, you know, I think the Tobias rumor was when like the Sixers were like 500 and there's a lot of questions as to, okay, where is this team headed? But they're 20-13 now and they're ratcheting it up and Tyrese Maxey's not even playing yet. So
yeah,
I think they're headed towards that, contender status and, at near the top of the East. So I don't know that. But then again, you never know with Daryl Morey because, is this Sixers team the way they are? Is that good enough? Do they need some flexibility? You never know, because you got to look at ways to improve the team as well for the future. So do the Knicks help out there?
Sure.
We have so many draft picks. It's like, what are we going to do, bro?
Right.
We have so many picks. It's like, what are we going to do? I can't wait to see.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Last call tonight, area code 502. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yo, this is D-Lo from the Ville.
D-Lo from the Ville. Let's go. How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? It's my first time calling in this year.
Yes, sir.
Man, dude say he wants the smoke. I got the lighter for him.
Whoa.
You can't get rid of 30. Yeah, you can't get rid of 30 and 15. You know what I'm saying? That's just Julius' problem. The last 3 minutes of the game, he needs to get off that arc and get down in that post and get him at work. Because he got the moves. The only thing he got to do is do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
McBride don't need to be in the last 3 minutes of the game. Because they leaving him wide open and they double teaming everybody else. And Barrett and what's his name? The guy from Duke.
RJ.
Swing man. What's his? My fault, fellas. Cam Reddish.
Oh, Cam.
Yeah, Cam Reddish, man. Cam Reddish is kind of soft. If he go to the hole, every time he go to the hole, he's doing jelly rolls, man. He got to go and dunk. You 6'8", 6'7". You got to dunk. JD, yeah. And you how about laying up a bunch of bricks with L.A.? You can send Cam Reddish to L.A. He'll put the cement down for him.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead. Last point, go ahead.
Hey, one more. Hey, I seen you in that jogging suit, that KnicksFanTV jogging suit when you was in Golden State.
Yeah.
I need to know how I can get one of them things.
Oh, that's a one-on-one exclusive, my man. But stay tuned. We got something cooking for the fans, man. Stay tuned. We're gonna have an announcement on the merch come in the new year, man. So stay tuned, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
I need that, man. I need that. Represent. All right, fellas.
All right, D-Lo, man.
Y'all,
yeah,
right.
D-Lo, what I need you to do next time, I need you to get on the Discord. D-Lo, you got to get on the Discord, and I want people on the phones to get on the Discord because we need that. If you're going to do a battle of the fans, it's got to be on the Discord. We need crispy audio, everybody on the same levels. We need that. That's what we need.
My man say, you want the smoke? I got the lighter.
Yeah. He wants to smoke with Will from LI, but he's got to get on the Discord because his phone audio is a little bit low. So we got to get him on the Discord. And once we get that, we'll get it going, man. So we'll just stay by. Just a little sneak peek. This is a little sneak preview, man. You know?
Yeah, man. Yo, CP, you got it. That jog outfit was fire. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, man. I got another one in the works, but I got something for the fans, though, man. Don't worry about it, man. I gotta take care of the fans. We're gonna do something. So, no worries, man. No worries at all. Knicks lose. Are the Giants making the playoffs? Yes or no, man? Are we gonna win on Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm with it.
Yes.
I'm with it.
Definitely. They're gonna show up home game against the Colts. Colts are not a good team, and unlike some local teams, I think the Giants are well coached, and they're gonna be well prepared for the moment. Because although the opponent is not a great opponent, there is pressure because they have to win this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
They win this game. There's no other playoff scenario. The Giants are in, and we all know once you're in the NFL, you never know.
You never know. You never know at all, man. Shout out to the Rhyme Animal Chuck D once again. $5 super chat says, I'm not saying Cam is a savior, but what unknown draft player is a better wing than Cam Reddish? Ain't no NCAA star on the horizon yet. NCAA equals G League. I just think it all depends on where we draft. It all depends on when we draft. What the Knicks have shown is that they can find value wherever they are. So let's see. Let's see what happens, man. Shout out to Josh. Boxing fan 189 $5 super chat says CP should tip stay or go. You never give a clear answer to that question. What side do you call on?
Put him on the spot. Let's go.
On the spot.
Let's go.
On the spot. Look, man.
Don't come with this CAA stuff over here, man. When you said look, man, I'm like, yep. He put on the hat. Yep.
Listen, man. Is Tibbs a long-term answer for this team? No, I do not think so. But if you give this team to Johnny Bryant, I don't think he fares any better. Talent wins. Talent wins. Talent wins. It's still a 500 team in my book. It's still a 500 team in my book. They got to figure out what's going on with the bench. Quickly at 36 points tonight, what will he do in Houston? Is it going to be 25? Or is it going to be 5? What's Ovi's deal when he comes back? What is he going to look like? There's still a lot of questions with this team and with this roster, man. And I think too many times we look at the coach to be a quick fix. Yes, the rotation has issues. Yes, there needs to be defensive adjustments. No, I don't think he's a long-term option for this team. But I still think this roster is still a work in progress. And until then,
Is he here next year? Is he here next year?
If they don't make the playoffs, I don't think so.
So if they make the play-in, he's here next year?
Yes. Yeah. If they make the play-in, he's in.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. If they make the playoff season. The United 77 says, was the Spurs a more talented team? No, they were just a hungrier team. What do you say about Popovich this year, who's got a tanking team right now? What do the people say about Greg Popovich right now? It's quiet. Getting generational talent makes a lot of a difference. Makes a big difference.
He doesn't even get upset when he's coaching.
He doesn't even get upset.
And we all know Pop goes in.
Yeah.
He's not even coaching.
Right. So, shout out Jay Boogie, $20 super chat says, didn't even watch the game. I was on recruiting time at the John Wall Holiday Tournament. Saw them Kentucky boys show the city 7-foot Aaron Bradshaw and Drake Powell before DJ Wagner shut down the building. DeJuan Wagner's son. MVP back to Jersey. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Shout out to NYK31. Shout out to I Got Della Music. And shout out to Gamba. He says, with this minute count, we won't have to worry about tanking at this rate. This is not sustainable. Okay. So there that is, man. Remember that the show's available in audio podcast format, all the major podcast platforms. So make sure that you guys check us out there. If you guys listened on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. It'll go a long way. Remember to also like, share, subscribe to these videos whenever you get a chance. And go to manscaped.com, use promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And also go to prizepicks.com, use promo code KFTV for a 100% instant deposit match of up to $100. And we got little JD on the mic. What do you want to say, man? How do you feel about the Knicks right now?
Who's the best player on the Knicks? You heard that? My boy Trey.
Yeah. So little JD is part of the Cam Hive, man. Please believe it. Please believe it. We will be doing a post-game show after Knicks versus Rockets. It'll be a rapid fire post-game. You know, it is New Year's. I am trying to get my New Year's Eve celebration on, you know what I mean, ringing the New Year and whatnot. So we will be doing it. It'll be rapid fire. Hopefully the Knicks get a win. So that's it, man. Great show. Great show, JD. Great show, little JD. Great show, Chuck, TM, all the mods, Gamba, everybody, Team KFTV. Talento, JJ, everybody, man. Keith Sinclair. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us. One more until the end of the year, man. See you guys.